right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the tribe, what's up? How you doing? So, let's talk about muscle growth and how to speed it up. Why it's not happening fast enough. And nowadays in 2017, heading into 2018, we want things now, right? And so when people reach out to me through social media, people request consultations and things like that, and we get on a web chat or a phone call and we talk, they say, I want to build more muscle and I'm having a difficult time doing it. I feel like it shouldn't be taking this long, right? The common thing is the plateau. I hit a plateau. I've been stuck for months. I go to the gym consistently, I work out, and I'm not really seeing the type of results I want. This is women and men straight across the board. Men struggling to grow their legs or their arms, women struggling to grow their arms, upper body, whatever the case is, but you're struggling to grow. And so then it leads to, well, should I be getting more protein in my diet? Should I be doing more calories? Should I increase my carb intake? What should I be doing? That could be a possibility, but before we talk about that, we got to talk about the training. See, because understand that muscle grows according to your level of effort. That's true. Muscle facilitates effort, right? Producing force, that's just producing effort. It just comes out as force, kinetically, right? But ultimately, when we train and we throw more weight on the bar and we do more reps and all of this type of stuff, that's just more effort to get the muscle to adapt to a higher level of effort. That's all it is. And so in the bodybuilding and fitness world, we call this hypertrophy training. And hypertrophy just means enlarging, increasing the size of the muscle, right? So muscle, primarily all it really does is understand tension. That's it. All forces just produce tension. So let me get off my soapbox with all the technicalities, and I'm going to talk about the questions that I may dive into on these calls. So I'll ask, well, you know what, from day to day, week to week, what do your workouts typically look like? And then I'll get a response. It's vague, it's very broad. Something along the lines of, Monday I may do chest and triceps and shoulders and a little bit of abs, and I'll warm up on the treadmill or the elliptical. Okay, it's pretty cookie cutter, but it's somewhat of a plan, right? And I say, okay, cool. Do you stick to specific exercises every week? And a lot of the times I get, well, I like to change it up. I like to change it up. That's cool. We all like to change it up. Be careful how much you change it up, though, right? I may ask, are you following a specific program or rep scheme? Usually the answer is no. Right? Most people who have this problem are just working out on a whim. They're kind of just free balling it, just winging it. I'll just go into the gym and, just work out. I hear this thing that people say a lot of time. They say, it depends on how I feel that day. Have you ever said that? What am I going to do in the gym today? It really depends on how I feel. But think about it. Now, if you're a professional, you work full time, you're either going to be working out really early in the morning before work, or you're going to be working out at night later on in the day after you've given work all of or most of your energy. Or maybe you work out on your lunch break and you're strapped for time. What does this do to your effort level? If you train according to how you feel within that moment, when you wake up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, chances are you're not really going to be training at 100% consistently. You're not going to be pushing your boundaries consistently. This leads to a habit of training at 70, 60, 50% of your intensity. And if your intensity is at 50, 60, and 70%, you're not giving it all you got. Guess what? It's not going to be an adaptation. You're training at 70%. That's not more. 70%. You're not pushing the boundaries. You got to do more. You got to increase the intensity. You got to increase the effort if you're going to get the muscle to adapt. If your muscle is currently adapted to your 100% best from last week, and you come in and you train this week at 70%, you got an extra 30% left on the table. The muscle's not going to adapt to 30%, to that missing 30%. That effort level needs to be consistent. It needs to increase, right? Because when you're on a training program, here's how it's supposed to go. There's something called a bell curve, right? Your intensity level goes up this way over several weeks, and then it comes down so that you can give your body a chance to recover. And then in the next phase of your program or the next program you decide to do, that intensity goes back up. And this is how we get stronger and stronger and stronger and gain more and more and more muscle. You can't be like this every day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, up and down, up and down, up and down. You can't be like this day to day. You got to be like this day to day. You got to be climbing day to day. You got to be climbing week to week. That's how that works. So, let's talk about the tactics of training to build muscle, right? Now, there are 3 different types of ways to train and build muscle. Now, we talked about hypertrophy. Hypertrophy, the best way to cause hypertrophy mainly is time under tension. The more time under tension that muscle faces, the more it's going to adapt to facilitate that time under tension, right? Which is why bodybuilders, they do within an 8 to 12 rep range, 16 to 20 reps, etc. More on that higher end of the volume. Now, but there's a lot more to it than just volume. So the 3 phases that you'll be training muscle through is going to be strength, power, and muscular endurance, right? Strength is how much force you can produce overall. Power is how much force you can produce over a limited amount of time. Producing force fast, right? Muscular endurance. That's how much force you can produce over an extended period of time. How many reps can you do? How slow can you get that rep? How much time can you keep that muscle under tension for? So you're either going to be lifting heavy, or you're going to be lifting a heavy or a moderate load fast, or you're going to be lifting a moderate or light load over an extended period of time. More reps, slower eccentric phase, or eccentric or lower the negative phase of the rep, right? The lowering. Like when you're bench pressing, when you lower that bar to your chest. Do you just let it drop on your chest, or do you bring it down slow? Let the muscle feel it. When you squat, do you squat down 4, 6 seconds nice and slow, and then shoot up to the top fast? So you can train time under tension and power at the same time. There's a lot of ways to do this. But if you can no longer add more weight to the bar, if you can no longer lift heavier, your next option is either move weight faster or move weight more frequently, more volume, or slow down the rep. And so you got to know how to bounce back and forth between these things, right? So ideally, here's what you do. If you're training chest, you would choose 2 to 3 chest exercises. Maybe you do a bench press and you're training strength and power on bench press. Then you hit dumbbell presses or push-ups for volume. That's just an example there. So you cover both ends of the spectrum. You can train strength and power, strength or power, and combine that with maximizing time under tension. And you do that very deliberately with a consistent plan, with increasing effort day to day, week to week. That is how you get the growth you're looking for. And if you're not doing that, then more than likely that's the reason why you're not seeing the gains.